This is Mr. Gibbons. I'm going to be talking to you about how to take notes in Western civilization. First of all, when we take notes, they'll generally be from PowerPoint. They'll be in color, but for this demonstration, I've just printed some out in black and white to show you what one slide might look like. So the first thing we do is to get down the date and the title of the notes. So in this case, it's the Italian Renaissance, chapter 13. So your notebook will look like this. We'll start a new page. Today's date, let's say, is 10 August 2013. The title is the Italian Renaissance. Chapter 13 notes. Next, what you'll see on the screen will be, we'll just do one sample slide. It'll look like this. Typically the slides will have 6 or so bullets to the left. They have some images in the background which we'll talk about, but this will be up for a short time before we start the notes themselves. So you see in this example, the first bullet says origins and time frame. So let me show you how to take effective notes. We'll copy down the first heading. I'll just number it 1. Origins and time frame. Leave yourself a little space. I will then talk about this, and I'll tell you, for example, the Renaissance took place between about 1350 and 1600, and you would follow along as I talk. The origins lie in the Italian states. And feel free to abbreviate. You could say Northern Italy. And then I might say something like it's a period of profound cultural awakening. And the beginning of modern times. I might also mention that it's partly because Italy has luxury goods and banks, so banks, luxury goods in Italy. That helps lead to the origin. Arrow usually means lead to. And you could say, therefore, the city-states are attached to these classical traditions. So you might say, therefore, sometimes people put 3 dots. Therefore, the city-states in Italy. And I'm tired of writing Italy, so I'll just do I with a circle. Make a note to myself, I with a circle equals Italy. So I don't have to write Italy every time. You can do things like this. City-states in Italy are attached to classical traditions. Usually I'll talk about 2 bullets at a time. So you see here that the second bullet is major themes. Then I'll pause after the 2 bullets and take questions. So I might also say something like humanism. I'll just do it in caps because it's a key word, which is an intellectual movement. Focus on secular themes. That's a vocab word. So maybe there's a way of marking vocab. For example, I'll underline it with a squiggle. Humanism has a lot to do with, improving knowledge. We might talk about individualism, dignity of man. There's another way to abbreviate man. And I might say something like humanists will open schools, taught the humanities, subjects that focus on people might be history, philosophy. Maybe get an example. And we might say something like individualism has a lot to do with, the dignity of a person, focus on the person as opposed to, say, God, that was the focus of medieval times. Dignity of man, focus on man. And then I would stop and take questions, and you might skip a line here, wait for somebody to ask questions, and then add in anything you might have missed. But this is how it'll work, and then we'll go back to the slide and do the next two bullets in this example on Petrarch's sonnets and Lorenzo Valla. And same thing, I'll start with Petrarch. So Francesco Petrarch. Some people like to underline people twice or have some kind of a theme. I'll say, he lived in the 14th century, and see what the period can be century. And then we'll talk about the sonnets. He wrote to Laura, love poems, and so forth. And then you continue notes like this. This is the most typical way of taking notes in Western Civ. On another video, I'll show you an alternative way of taking notes. This has been Mr. Gibbons. Thanks for listening.